First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next, live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
This is we should start paying rent here, I think,
On
because
YouTube.
yeah, I think I'm in this virtual room
Yeah,
more than I'm in my actual apartment.
yeah, you are. We're live in your.
No, we're in the virtual room right now.
Unless you're on YouTube when you're like not at home, more than you are at YouTube.
We're in the garden.
You're in the garden.
We're in the
but-
garden
yeah,
on YouTube.
True.
Yeah.
Jamie Coe's in the room. Eric Marcotte is in the room. He's saying we're looking good. We're sounding good. Chris Leone's mad. No Cameron Grimes. We'll talk about that. I'm going to tweet out that we're live. And I just did. So, welcome, YouTube room. I'm assuming more people watched NXT tonight.
Than AEW, because there was no AEW.
True. Facts. Cold, hard facts.
That said, there was no AEW last week, and NXT seemed pretty quiet, I thought, especially for a go-home show.
Yeah, last week was very interesting, considering they could have done a show like tonight, which knocked it out of the park. But we'll definitely talk about tonight's episode of NXT, which was pretty good. It was a good bounce back.
Yeah.
From TakeOver.
I mean,
not saying,
this would normally be a hangover, wouldn't it?
It was a pretty big hangover then.
Yeah.
This is a
very big hangover.
banger of a This is SummerSlam 2019 hangovers.
Oh boy.
Like that's how big the hangover was.
Or like day after, was it WrestleMania? Day after that when we just had the shivers and died and...
No, me and you died after TakeOver.
Was it TakeOver?
Yeah, me and you decided to go for a long walk in Brooklyn. We went to like Bushwick. We went all over because we were just dying inside from the hangover. We are letting the room kind of populate here. How is the room? Eric Marcotte already said we look good, so I know we can start the show.
Jamie, what do you mean testing?
Yeah, what's Jamie testing?
What are you testing?
What are you testing, Jamie?
You're testing us guys out?
Are you testing us? What is...
I'm going to see what these guys are like. I'm going to test them.
I think Jamie's a regular. Isn't Jamie a regular? Maybe Jamie's like...
I recognize the name, yeah.
Jamie Coe, visiting the chat room. So I guess we'll just kind of go into the show here.
I think so, yeah. By the time we get to 10:30, we should be on the good stuff. So let's...
On to the good stuff, meaning White Claws?
Yeah. No, I mean like the base.
I'm going to crack my other drink here.
Oh, bad idea.
Why?
Bad idea. It's going to go flat. Warm and flat.
Ah, no.
The AC's not on. That's gonna like melt in seconds.
Jared Burns in the chat also agrees. No Cameron Grimes. 10 out of 10. That's not very nice. Guys, make sure all the doors are locked tonight. Rumors are there might be an invasion in the chat that's going around lately.
Yeah, there've been some invasions in some Up Next shows
retribution?
recently. Yeah, some retribution going on.
I don't know. Invasions are shit. I guess we can start the show.
Okay.
We're going to start recording for the podcast version of Up Next, which you can find anywhere where you find your podcasts. But yes, we do it live here every Wednesday.
Every day at the moment. Every day.
Jared Burns hates everything we love and cherish. First he disses Grimes, then he disses White Claws. Jamie Coe's a first time, long time. All right, love it.
Oh, and we've got a troll in the room, so that's always nice.
It's W.H. Park.
Never heard of him.
It's my retribution. Backyarder Pat sucks. Nice. Who's W.H. Park?
No idea.
We're going to start recording the show. So thank you for joining along, and cool. Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next, postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts. And, of course, every Wednesday night you can find us
on youtube.com/upnext. But maybe let's get it out the way right away. Every Wednesday except next Wednesday.
Wow.
As NXT is obviously going to be on Tuesday. So there's just going to be an audio version coming out next week.
Next Wednesday
day. Like
yes.
Early evening. We both have to work. Unfortunately, we didn't get it off. WWE, come on. Give us more notice, guys. So yes, we will be recording Wednesday during the day. Instead. So you can look forward to have that. Find your podcast app sometime next Wednesday.
Look, just because it's on a Tuesday doesn't mean we would abandon you. We're your NXT friends. Friends. So regularly, we're Wednesday nights around 10:30ish on the youtube.com/upnext. You can always follow us and find us on Twitter at upNXT Podcast, and of course the Facebook group and the page upNXT Podcast. And it's been a wild week. It's been a wild week.
It's been a hell of a week.
First of all, tonight the NBA with their lockout, bold decision, and I'm for it. We knew WWE would not do the same thing. Thus, we're going to be talking about NXT tonight. But there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that are wild, and we're just a silly wrestling podcast, but we have a platform, blacklivesmatter.com. Please go visit, and not doing anything is just as bad these days. We gotta change the way we think, and I think I'm not a political show, but we have a lot of American listeners, and I'll leave it at vote. Please vote. If it's by mail, even if you fucking can. I don't know what's going on with the mail. But just fucking vote. Yeah,
I think it's a really good move from the NBA that they've done this. It's all very good talking about it, and as I think it was Van Fleet said for the Raptors, cool, you can wear a shirt, but you got to do something. And for them to be promoting, obviously they're wearing their Black Lives Matters jerseys at the moment in the NBA, to promote and not do a step further when more of this awful, senseless violence and racism is happening. I think it's great that they're making a stand. No, I'm not surprised WWE didn't, but also, to be fair to WWE, they haven't been pushing the agenda either.
Sure.
And their philosophy has always been the show must go on. Could they do something? Absolutely they could, but it's up to us and you guys to do something as well.
But the show did go on tonight for WWE NXT, and we'll get to that. But we've also had a week. We took it for a little swerve there. We've also had a crazy week. It was SummerSlam weekend for WWE and NXT TakeOver 30. We did our TakeOver 30 post show. It's up wherever you find your podcast. Go subscribe, like, and all that stuff, because you're listening to this one. You probably found that one. We did a year ago. SummerSlam was in the 6th. We did our TakeOver tailgate. We had a party in a bar in Toronto, in our hometown, and it was crazy. We had a special video from Gargano. We had all sorts of crazy things, wrestling themed drinks and everything. We wanted to do it again this year, but we couldn't. So we did it via Zoom for our Patreon, patreon.com/upnext. And wow, a Patreon Zoom, things can get fucking lit.
It was so much fun. So we set this up and we had the idea, let's do a tailgate on Zoom, and we go to each other, what does that mean? And we're like,
I don't know.
Don't really know.
Yeah.
And kind of every Wednesday would pass and we go, hey, we got to think about this Zoom on this tailgate on Zoom. It's like, yeah. What are you thinking? Don't know. Maybe some karaoke. I think we banded around the idea of trivia maybe or something.
We set up a damn pool, beer pong table.
We set up beer pong, and then you guys just came and joined us, and we chatted and we hung out with you in the BDE MSG for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we just drank. We people were doing all sorts of things. It was so much fun.
It was great. Look, I had such a good time.
We do a Patreon where we do all these podcasts, and it's so crazy to me that we have supporters and listeners who even just listen to this show. It's amazing, and I thank all of our listeners. And it was just wild to kind of have a Zoom party with all these people who are all over the world. We had Brandon from New Jersey on a treadmill, making scallops and bacon. I don't know what he was doing. We had MJ from NJ on his balcony
just
in Florida.
Manspreading in his balcony.
We had a dude who's walking through a forest. There was dogs
was that
and cats.
Joe LeBeau, I think, was just taking us for a walk through a forest.
I don't know what he was doing. And then we started going off about Pokemon, and Charbel was talking about Pokemon, and then left the room for a little bit. And then we cut to super fan of the show, Andrew Mcdonald, who clearly had a little bit too much vodka, decided to just start rambling about his ex-girlfriend and drug dealers, while Charbel now brings his kids into the Zoom chat to be like, hello, and this guy's going off about a drug deal gone wrong and a stolen car and a GTA and all this stuff. Wow. Just crazy.
Shout out to Charbel as well, because when we had some technical issues, Charbel just goes, hey, leave it to me, guys. Starts hosting.
Yeah.
Just is like filtering in the calls.
Wild.
And it was great. And we will definitely, we'd love to do one again at like a Mania, or if we travel to an event or something, we'd love to do one again in person, but when the time is right. But now we've done this, and we just escaped like a whole Zoom
dropout
meltdown.
We broke it. The chat was fire.
The chat was
and
fire.
And we broke it. Yeah, it was.
We will definitely do it again, guys. So don't you worry if you missed out on this one. We'll definitely let you know, because we'd love to do something like this again.
Wow, look, you know what? It was so much fun doing a bar event a year ago, and then now doing it over Zoom was like, look, it's the next best thing, and it was so much fun. Shout out everyone who joined the Zoom tailgate, and shout out everyone who was there in spirits. And yeah, we've done a lot of things. We've been on YouTube Live quite a few times. We did our SummerSlam game, which is out for the Patrons, where it was, you came up with this idea to not only come up with the greatest SummerSlam card ever, but then trivia as well with SummerSlam. It was it got wild.
Nate Milton, were almost broken. Can tell Nate is like the king of the fantasy draft, because he was issuing trades. There were like challenges being traded, and 2-for-1s and all this. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, it was one of the best ones we've done, I think.
I'm bad at learning new games. Today I was trying to learn how to play cribbage. I know it's a strange thing to learn, but I'm bad at learning. I didn't listen to half your rules.
Because you don't listen. You don't listen. It's your fucking show. I tell you the rules months, and then like towards the end of the game, and you're
I
like,
lost TLC.
I'm out of. What do you mean I can't have any more challenges? And so, well, normally when you have 5 challenges and you've used 5 challenges, you're now of 0 challenges. Well, I didn't know that. Well, I told you the rules a month ago, Braden.
To be fair, a few people were like, "Hey, I didn't realize that's how it should." So a few people tweeted in saying it should have went in rotation of a proper order. I think that's what maybe confused me. But I didn't win because my TLC was stolen from my SummerSlam card. But wow, like it got heated. It was me, Davie, John Cena, Andrew Thompson, and Nate Milton, the whole Post Wrestling family, the other people who work for John Away. Yep. It was all of us playing a SummerSlam fantasy game. That's up on the Patreon. We did a SummerSlam 2005 review because we had to watch Dominic Mysterio on the line between Ray and Eddie. That was crazy. I'm wearing my I'm Your Poppy shirt right now. And then we did like our TakeOver 30. We did our SummerSlam best match ever, but SummerSlam main events. And this was a crazy show. One of it was pretty long, I'd say, for us. We went through all the SummerSlam main events, focused on more than others, and rated and discussed which SummerSlam main event was the best as well. So that's up on the Patreon. All those shows, including an upNXT, Shot in the Dark, is up there for free, but $5 a month.
Yeah, I heard there's some issues with Shot in the Dark though this week. I think there might have been a bit of retribution from some angry men. Or one angry man in particular. But yes, Shot in the Dark is available for free on our Patreon every Wednesday, running down all the kind of shows you may have missed, such as like the New Japan USA Cup. We've got AEW Dark, 205 Live main event, any kind of GCW shows or anything like that. It's under 20 minutes, very concise and informative. And just go to patreon.com/upnext and click download. You don't even need to be a patron.
Yeah, so that show is free. But check out us. We have the $5 tier, which is North American, gets you all the podcasts I was mentioning, and all the back catalog of all the shows. Freddy Got Fingered, just saying. Which seemed to be the hit at the tailgate. Everyone loved that show. And as well, coming up this week, we have a best match ever, TNA X Division, with a guest.
Yes, we'll be joined by JP Houlihan from the Grapple Spotlight. He has chosen, we reached out to him and said, hey, we'd love you to be a guest on Best Match Ever. And you get to pick. He's like, well, I'd love to go back and watch some classic TNA X Division.
Yeah.
So join us for that on, I believe that's coming out Friday night. Sunday night. That will be coming out with JP, looking all at old TNA X Division. And for our next Best Match Ever and our next throwback review, go on the Facebook page. It's upNXT Podcast, the upNXT group, and you can vote. We've got 4 G1s, 4 years of the G1 up on a poll. to vote for next month's best match ever. And it is actually going to be my birthday next week.
No way.
We're going to do a throwback of a Raw or a SmackDown that took place on my birthday. So we've got a SmackDown that's involving the proposal of Billy and Chuck. Wow. Brock Lesnar versus a very young Randy Orton.
Wow.
We've got a Raw, I think, from 2001. So that's right in the midst of the invasion.
Fantastic.
We've got 2013 Raw, 2013 SmackDown. Have a look. All the information's on there. And cast your vote. We will be announcing it tomorrow on upNXT, where I won't be joined by you.
No, this week I'm joining a friend of the show, Jordan Goodman, for an Instagram. And because of the moving of AEW, you're going to be doing it with Jesse from the 6.
Weather permitting.
Weather
permitting. We're still being safe. We're being socially distant. Right. This is going to be a BD MSG outside event.
Yes.
But as always, card subject to change.
Of course, in the world of wrestling. Maybe you just hold off and I'll do it with you after, if you need it to be.
Sure.
I'm always there because I live with you.
Yeah.
We're roommates. So we're doing so many podcasts, and we had our summer themed month with all those SummerSlam shows, and we also do What's Next, where we go back in time and watch NXT, and we putting out a show this week where it's like where the Shield is just starting and NXT, and Roman Reigns is in tights, which is very fitting since he just came back with new teeth. So check for the What's Next as well, because we are all about the NXT. But if you don't want to join the Patreon, if you're like, nah, man, times are hard, I can't. Look, the whole world is in this pandemic. And it's been the summer, and next summer, depending, someone might ask you, what did you do last summer? Well, I know what you did last summer, and we're doing a free movie review out on this feed, coming out tomorrow night at some capacity. I know what you did last summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar,
WWE's own Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Ryan Philippe. It's the most 90s cast imaginable.
Yeah, we love horror movies here, and we decided what's a good summer movie, and we landed on that, and we thought we'd give it to you for free. You could be listening and shaking your head right now, but yeah, it's a fun movie. I watched it last night. Fantastic. It's so terrible, and I can't wait to talk all about the scares and the jumps and the deaths.
Fisherman.
Evil, scary fisherman. So out on this feed, I Know What You Did Last Summer, free review with myself, Davie, and host of the Zombie Pod and Shot in the Dark, John Cena.
And finally, this Sunday, I will be joined again by John Cena and B Detroit on our YouTube page for free for a live watch-along of Payback. Watch-along and post-show of Payback. Come along, youtube.com/upnext. Last week's weekend of watch-alongs were great. They went really well. Was really happy with them. And why not? WWE are putting on another pay-per-view just a week later. So you got us again this Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all the plugs. Braden, I just wanted to tell you what a brave young man I think you are. And thank you for all the work you've put in for upNXT, the Democratic Party, all of it over the last week.
Yep. Okay, so the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, running for president, had a speaker come out, a 13-year-old boy with a stutter, named Braden Herrington. Yes, the same name as I. So my Twitter feed started being filled with lovely messages from people all over the world saying, at the Brady, what a wonderful man you are. How brave.
So brave.
Just a wonderful, So I had to tell them that they got the wrong Twitter. However, some would say I'm still a wonderful, young, and brave man. Because last night, I slipped going out in after barbecuing. I was stone cold sober, believe it or not.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that there wasn't any kind of substance in your system. I don't believe that.
In a flip flop, and I slipped down some steps, and let's just say it's gonna get. We went from being all wonderful and brave, but the bottom of my toe just disappeared now, and my toe is wrapped up. I've been doing the whole. I didn't get stitches. I should have, but I'm a guy and I'm stubborn. So I've been wrapping it and treating it and doing all sorts of things. And you still somehow want to convince me to go out to a bar tonight.
Well, yeah, it's we got to warm up because this time by the time we finish the show, I will turn 31 during the show next
38.
week. Hey, fuck off. So we got to have a little warm up tonight for next week. We got to warm up.
Warm up. I think I'm still recovering from this past weekend.
No, we need a warm up.
We had a little bit of a tear this past weekend. We couldn't go out to Boston or New York for Wrestle Dynasty or Takeover, so we had a little party in our own backyard, literally. So I felt like we've just been plugging everything we've been doing this week. But yeah, Braden Herrington. I am the different Braden Herrington. I spell it the right way, like Bradenton, Florida, where you get your oranges from. Yeah.
You don't need a Y in there.
You don't.
No. Unnecessary. There are so many letters that are unnecessary, but that's another story.
Yeah, so it's been a big week.
Yeah.
And it's been a big week in like the world of wrestling. Obviously, it was SummerSlam weekend. I mentioned Roman Reigns came back. Thoughts on the T-shirt?
I thought you were going to say thoughts on the teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, I quite like the T-shirt. The teeth are going to take a bit of getting used to.
I think Roman Reigns is going to be a big Hollywood star. Is it just me?
Wouldn't you get the teeth? Wouldn't you get the teeth done after you stop wrestling? Then one of them are going to get knocked out. Like that would be a great angle.
So like chiclets.
Yeah.
His shirt though, wreck everything and leave.
Love it.
Should I make our own where it says get lit and leave?
Or drink everything and leave?
That would be yours. Yeah. Mine would be get lit and leave. It reminds me of the Austin one. But yeah, so there was some things that happened because Keith Lee lost the NXT Championship to Karrion Kross in an unfortunate situation with the injury going forward, kind of what we knew coming after the match out of it. But then Keith Lee is announced for Monday Night Raw in the Thunderdome.
Yep.
The Thunderdome's got all sorts of fucking problems going on, by the way. They should really sort out what they're allowing on TV. I know it's really hard, but holy
Well, I know.
shit.
How do you manage that, though?
It's got to be super hard, but they kind of need to figure it out. And Keith Lee debuts on Monday Night Raw. Hey, remember when I was talking about Keith Lee and his great gear?
Yeah, I think you cursed it. You absolutely cursed it. I
knew you were going to say that.
I know what you meant. I thought his old gear was quite indie-rific, but I thought he should still keep the trunks. He should still not wear a top, I think. Yeah. But just, I don't know, have a better font on it, have a better graphic on it, maybe a bit of a different color, not the baby blue. But yeah, he looks terrible. They've stripped away everything from him, I feel.
They even took away his music.
His great theme.
Keith Lee.
I don't get it. He did put out a tweet saying, like, I don't really have control over this, but like leave it to me, essentially. Like
leave it to Lee.
Leave it to Lee. He's clearly not particularly happy either. But yeah, you cursed it. I think we had a lot of people in the room for our watch-alongs this weekend.
Yeah.
And I think Vince might have been one of them. He's like, this guy hates his gear.
This guy hates his
gear.
He's
coming to Raw on Monday.
God damn it.
Got to change that.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. But I want to see... Look, I said on the show that I was a little bit down on Keith Lee. He's already become that main roster guy to me a little while ago. And it's felt like that in NXT. And now he's literally gone. So, technically, poor little out. We lost another one.
Poor little out.
Leave the memories alone. Don't change a thing. Except his music and his gear. At least they didn't just call him Keith.
Or just Lee. Yeah.
Wow. That'd be great.
Limitless Lee. Or something like that.
Well, I want to see him do good. He's going to be facing Randy Orton this Sunday at Payback, which is crazy considering Randy Orton's like on the hot streak. You figure, I don't know, it's just weird. Why is there a pay-per-view 1 week after?
I don't know.
So weird. Just crazy.
Before we get into the chat, I did want to just share a little anecdote
What's
today.
your anecdote?
Because as I mentioned, just to remind everyone, it's my birthday next week.
Oh, yeah.
Next Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So my family, we've always done like lists for birthdays and Christmas. Just like, hey, what do you want? Yeah. And you say a few things you want, and then you pick one or two of them to give. Yeah. It saves disappointment. And like, oh, great, thanks. It's what I've always wanted. It saves that. So my mum goes, we normally, although I live across the pond, she'll put an order in for Amazon Canada.
Yeah.
I'll put an order in for Amazon UK for my mum, my brother, whatever. Don't support Amazon. There are other companies out there who
so much.
need more help. But my mum goes today, she WhatsApps me, did you come up with any suggestions for your birthday? And I went, oh, yes. I was thinking maybe a soda stream or a new microphone for podcasting.
Nice.
I'd kind of like both of those things.
I hope she doesn't get you that.
And she goes, okay, a bit random. I'll make a money transfer instead. It's like, what? She's basically, of all the years, like, I had my Pokemon phase. I'll be like, Mum, I want a Pikachu. It's like, all right,
now you're
okay.
in your Soda Stream phase?
And now she's just like, no, that sounds shit. I'm giving you money.
So you're saying we might get a Soda Stream?
I don't know. Well, the thing is, when I just get given money, it just helps pay the debt, you know?
Fair,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I buying a Soda Stream when I'm already in the negative?
Last night, before I could fall asleep, I put on, HBO put out that new Seth Rogen movie, American Pickle.
Okay.
He is a old, like Jew that moves to New York and then gets brined in a vat of pickles for like 100 years and then comes back to live in Brooklyn, New York with his great-grandson, who's also Seth Rogen.
Okay.
But in the movie, his whole goal in life is he'll know he's successful when he drinks seltzer water. So when he gets to like his great-grandson's apartment in 100 years in the future, he's like, and this is my Soda Stream. And he's like, what is it? Oh, it like makes seltzer. And he's like, what? So it's a whole bit in the movie. So yeah, are we getting a Soda Stream or are you getting a new microphone?
I don't think I'm getting either if I'm just given money. Just go towards rent.
Yeah, and our White Claws.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what a day. Say la vie.
You say la vie.
Yeah. Well, here we are just talking about our privilege.
Yes.
Let's talk about NXT from August 26th. Wow, it's already August 26th, 2020. NXT, August 26th, 2020. A little recap of TakeOver 30. And yes, the X's are still here. They're still hanging about in Full Sail here.
Yeah, I think that's permanent now.
Oh, that's cool.
X for NXT, right?
NXT.
They only had the two of them either side, where they used to have that kind of blow-up NXT thing.
Right, okay.
Look cool. It was part of the entrances now.
We get a recap of all the matches and where everything is kind of going. And then we get the answer to what we all kind of wanted to know. Karrion Kross with Scarlett come out with the epic entrance. They're decked out, looking great. But Karrion Kross has a sling on his arm and the NXT title on the other. He comes down. Doomsday has, it's arrived in more ways than one. He grabs a microphone, but I must say, right away, this guy looks like a badass. The way he's dressed, the way he talks, the cadence of this, the way he speaks. This is an awesome promo. He says, I told you, I warned you, everyone would suffer. At TakeOver 30, I kept good on my word. I ripped the title of Keith Lee from his carcass like flesh from bone. And, well, one should know, when you go to war, expect casualties on both sides. And then he looks down at his injured shoulder. He says, I separated my shoulder. I've been in searing pain, but I love it. It brings me to life. Evanescence. You're a madman, says someone in the crowd. Was it Kona Reeves? He says, I'm a realist. I understand the reality of the situation.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry, guys. Hello. We are back. Sorry. Retribution hacked us. I think WH hacked us. That damn WH. Oh, are we back? Can you hear us? We're back. Sorry, guys. Don't know what happened there. We were just living our lives.
Let's continue.
Okay, so we have Karrion Kross and Scarlett walk off with the title in the middle of the ring, and what is to come of the future of the NXT Championship.
Yeah, it's like look, neither of us liked this match at the weekend. Kross, his ring work when it has come to actually big matches hasn't particularly interested me so far. I've enjoyed the squash matches where he's just Saito suplexing guys on his head. But that being said, there's still such a main event presence to this guy. He's the one person on the roster who looks like a mega star, in my opinion, like the whole act. And it's a real shame, especially getting injured. It happened to Balor, right? You win the title and that should be your crowning moment, and immediately you're dropping it. That sucks. And I think also with Keith Lee just leaving and going to the main roster, bad time to do that as well. Obviously, we talked about how they dealt with him on the main roster. But it leaves you scratching your head going, okay, well, Lee's gone. Kross is gone. Which direction do you go? And obviously they'll announce later in the night, but I think for such a short time he's been with NXT, there's now a massive gap with him gone.
Yeah, it's really interesting. NXT's in this weird, again, unfortunate situation. You had Keith Lee, who wins both titles, drops one, like, nah, I don't want this, then had this whole tournament and then a ladder match to get someone who has that title. But then Keith Lee drops his title and is gone right away.
Didn't want a rematch. Then didn't want his music anymore. Didn't want his gear. I think Keith Lee's just going through a bit of a bad time.
Just shows you kind of how much they actually do care about the story. There's shit. That is such a lame little story. But this promo from Karrion Kross was fantastic. I know we were pretty negative on the match, but obviously it was because he was injured in the match, and the match wasn't good. But this promo was fantastic. This guy has the delivery, the look. Both of them have the look. Scarlett is fantastic. The cadence. I want this guy to come back when he's ready and kill everybody.
He sounded great. I think they either put a very slight effect, like a very tiny echo on the mic, or he was just
Batman?
Kind of, or he was just talking closer into the mic than he normally would, because he sounded almost like a monster. He had this kind of spooky sound, which was more than just his voice. It was definitely the way he was using the microphone or an effect they put on, which I thought was pretty cool.
He's not talked like this before. Like, it's always been like his different like promos and weird camera cuts and stuff. But this was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen an in-ring promo. It's always been on the Titantron or something, right?
This guy is fantastic. This was an awesome promo. This is what I miss in my wrestling. They're like scary character, badass. Look, he got injured and he's walking with the tail behind his legs, but in a badass way, and it makes me. I shit on that match, but look, it was an accident. It was an injury, and it didn't mean to happen. And I still think this guy is I think this guy is future WWE champion. I think he gets wrestling. Just from this promo, I was like, damn, man. And you could tell he was getting super emotional from his face. I hope this guy comes back with a vengeance.
Yes.
With a vengeance. On commentary tonight, it's no more Ronaldo, but it's Wade Barrett. Yeah,
he's back.
We have some bad news. It's Wade Barrett. And Vic Joseph and Beth Phoenix. Wade Barrett introduces himself, talks for about 10 to 15 seconds, and I go, wow, this guy's great.
Yeah, so he's been doing commentary for NWA, which obviously isn't running at the moment, and he was great on that. He's always been a good talker. Like, you go back to those like Bad News Barrett segments.
Yeah.
But also it's more than just being able to talk. It is about your voice. Like, you need to have a good voice. And this guy just sounds great.
Yeah.
And as you said, right away, from the start of him talking, you feel comfortable. And you go, oh, this guy's going to be good. And I loved right away, he brought up about, he's a, 5-time Intercontinental Champion. And he had to drop the title for that very same injury, separated shoulder.
Gotcha.
I thought that was a really nice touch, kind of coming into it, being like, hey, I feel for this guy. This sucks. And it's weird because obviously Kross is a monster heel killer character, but then everyone's kind of showing a bit of sympathy towards the guy as well, because obviously. And yeah, to come from Barrett, someone who's had the same injury, been through the same thing, I thought was a great transition.
Yeah, he sounded great. We review old NXT on our Patreon, and we talk about William Regal on commentary and how we have Regalisms. I think we're going to have a few Barrettisms?
Yes.
We'll work on it, but definitely later. But we have an NXT Tag Team title match. It is Breezango challenging against Imperium. Yeah, remember Imperium? They're our champions. You might not know that because they weren't on TakeOver.
Yeah, where have they been? Like, they're clearly in the States and just I don't know. The tag division is a mess there right now, I would say.
Well, Breezango won the number 1 contenders match, and they are challenging Imperium here tonight. And Breezango come in here, and they attack Imperium right away, and this match starts off. There's back and forth early on, and then they throw to commercial. And I'm not one to mention commercials, but there was no P&P tonight.
Not at all.
There's an awesome commercial.
Oh, I wonder because there's nothing opposing them.
Yeah, true. They're like, you can go to break.
I don't need to pay for that.
Yeah. All I know is there's this amazing Pitbull commercial where he goes, oh, wee, or whatever it is. Fantastic. We come back, and we have like this uppercut to the back and clothesline combo from Imperium.
I love Bartel's uppercut. He falls into it. It's one of the spinning European uppercuts, and he just puts his whole body weight into it and falls into it. It looks great.
Breeze hits a supermodel kick. No one told Vic that was the name of the move. There's then forearms and all these like strikes and like a high knee. Breeze is hitting everything. And then he like stops from running into the ref almost and then eats this uppercut. I think the one you were talking about, this like running, flying one. But then I think it's Bartel who goes up top there, jumps off, but eats the beauty shot in midair, but he kicks out at 2. Eichner gets in. He eats an enziguri from Breeze. They then hit the move they've been using, Breezango, is the slingshot into the knees and then like an elbow drop onto it, which is a classic tag team move. But now they do the slingshot forearm into the knees of Breeze, and then Fandango climbs the top rope and hits the Fandango leg drop onto the back of the knees of Breeze on the guy. Just awesome stuff. And then both guys are on the outside, and Fandango hits a tope con hilo. This match from top to bottom is just nonstop crazy here. But then Fandango only hits it to Bartel, which then Eichner on the outside just German suplexes Fandango.
Oh, this looked nasty. And this was Germans. Right after the commercial. You kind of just came back and it was this thud on the floor.
Eichner then in the ring is all on the offense. Hits a moonsault for a 2 count. Then there's a spinebuster and PK kick on Fandango. Double team there. Then Bartel hits the air raid crash for like a 2.9. Fandango barely kicking out of that. And then they go for like the drive-by, but it's like missed here. Breeze then eats this lariat from Eichner upside down. But then when they go for their double team, there's supermodel kicks. There's another supermodel kick. Fandango now up top. As Breeze supermodel kicked both guys laying kind of against each other head to head. Fandango off the top rope hits a double leg drop, meaning he hits both guys at the same time with a leg sprung out, spread out.
He flattened Eichner's face. Like the heel of his boot just... Because he kind of got like the neck or the top of the chest of Bartel, but his boot just flattened Eichner here.
And Fandango pins Fabian Eichner. Breezango are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Wow.
I thought this was a really hot match, to be honest. I can see people seeing this. I've already seen it, to be honest. People who have just seen the graphic of Papa Paul with Breezango with the titles, doing the point to Tyler Breeze.
It's no hot tub.
It's no hot tub.
Nothing ever will.
And I've already seen the negativity. Like, really? These guys... But to be honest, they've impressed me in the tag division the last few weeks. I like that they've now got a bit more of a edge to them. They're a bit more serious. I would have liked to have seen this happen a bit earlier, them kind of take things a bit more seriously, change the gear, maybe change the music, maybe not be called Fandango anymore. You know, I still can't take that seriously, and it's, 7-8 years he's been that guy?
Wow.
But I'm not mad that these guys won the title. I think for me it's quite obvious this is going to be a short transitional thing, and the titles are going to go to Legado del Fantasma, and you don't necessarily want Imperium dropping to another heel team. But top to bottom, I thought this match was really good.
Yeah, look, I've talked about on this show how Breezango are just like these guys that they put on some good matches, but the character is like just so weird that it's still here, that they came back here. They've been, I feel like they have a lot of the same matches over and over again. I feel like they're the enhancement talent, really, that just get their shit in, essentially, like a next step above. But
I think they could have done a better job at, when they first brought Tyler Breeze just on his own, back to NXT. And it was the program with Dream. And for about a month, they built him up really seriously. They built him up as this guy who failed on the main roster. He was the kind of OG class of NXT in that kind of golden era. And now he's back and he's trying to rediscover himself. And then he lost. I felt you could have maybe done this story with these guys. NXT does the video packages really well, where you take a look at the guys' like personal life and makes you care about them. I think these guys would have benefited from that and actually make you go, yeah, you've paid your dues. You've been in this company for a long time and you've been overlooked. And actually, I'm kind of rooting for you now. They half-arsed it, in my opinion. Look, but talent-wise, I've really enjoyed their tag rep matches recently.
Well, what I was going to say is, like, they're the guys that have been taking the pins in all these matches. They get a few wins here and now, and then they build them up, and then they lose, build them up, and build. Like, they've just been doing this, and then finally they've won here. But how many times have they been like the surprise partners or tag partners or surprise? I feel like it's always them and all these things, and it pisses me off all the time. And I go, oh. And of course, anyone who maybe doesn't watch NXT and just listens to us or just looks at results and would see this and go, ugh, really? But this was a hot match. This was the match of the night for me on NXT. This was fantastic.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I feel bad for Imperium. I don't know if this is just a short stay, because I know they're starting filming again NXT UK. Whether they're able to get back into the UK, whether that's where they're going to go, I don't know, because their title reign's been very forgettable, because they kind of won the titles and they're never on TV, and then they lost with zero build against Breezango. It was announced that next week Breezango are going to team up, not surprisingly, but actually announced Breezango will be teaming up with Isaiah Swerve Scott against Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma in a 6-man tag street fight.
Wow. But yeah, that's next week. I'm pumped that Tyler Breeze finally won a title here in NXT, to be honest. I've been watching him for so long, and it's like finally. I think Fandango too. Has he ever held a title?
Both had the SmackDown tag titles.
Tag titles? Oh, okay, cool. But this is awesome for them. Like, again, I'm not saying they could lose the titles really quickly, but they put on a good match. And if they're champions and they put on matches like this on NXT, then you got to give them the respect, because you can look at this and go, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, but you didn't watch the match, then it's like when people complain about the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. You gotta watch it to understand how bad it is.
I've always said that.
Yeah, right? You can't complain.
I hate it. Have you seen it? No.
It's like, well, did you watch the match with them? Because they were pretty good. He did the double splits leg drop at the end there. Oh, I didn't watch it, though. Okay, well.
Scorsese's.
We go to... Oh, I just lost my notes there for a second. We go to Damian Priest backstage, who is super happy. He's wearing a Marilyn Monroe shirt, and I dig it. But he's interrupted fairly early into his interview by Timothy Thatcher. And Thatcher says, "You're embarrassing." He says, "What? Sorry, who are you?" Timothy Thatcher says, "Look, I want a shot at your title. I deserve one. You're not a real champion. You're an embarrassment. And maybe if you fight me, there'll be no ladders to hide behind. And I'll show you how unequipped your wrestling is." Priest takes one look at him, takes a big laugh, and says, "Looks to me like I'm very well equipped." Shakes his North American title that's around his waist, laughs again, and walks off.
Priest during this is also drinking from a bottle of champagne.
Nice.
So I can see Thatcher's point of view. Like, yeah, like this champ, you're still drinking from
it's Wednesday,
from Saturday.
Yeah,
you're still drinking. I've been corrected by the room as well. They never won the tag title, so I can't think of a title that Breezango have ever won.
I don't watch, so.
Yes. But yeah, I'm quite kind of looking forward to this match, Thatcher versus Priest. I think Thatcher's had pretty impressive resume in NXT so far of good matches. So him versus Priest should be really hard hitting. I didn't like the look of the title around the waist of Priest. Doesn't kind of suit his character. He doesn't look like a waist title wearer.
Because he's got his hands on the bottles,
I guess,
and in the hot tub.
Yeah. All right.
It's
all
fine.
right. But no, I think this will be a good match next week.
So we now see a shot of through the glass of an NXT boardroom here, and it's Triple H, William Regal, Albert, and the old guy from Home Alone. Did you know Macaulay Culkin turned 40 years old?
I know, that's crazy. Do you know I turn 31 next Wednesday? Next Thursday.
31?
31.
Yeah. You're almost as old as Macaulay Culkin. Triple H, William Regal, Albert, and Shawn Michaels are in this boardroom, and they're coming up with an idea for the future of the NXT World Championship. So more on that to come. But we go to our next match, which is Jake Atlas in. We have issues with audio again.
Shouldn't do.
Should be. We have the effect of Killer Kross, the same echo that he had earlier today. Okay, sorry. We go to our next match, which is Jake Atlas, who comes down to the ring, and he has a tough spot here because a returning Tommaso Ciampa comes down to the ring in his mask, in his Psycho Killer mask. Psycho Killer, Blackheart, whatever you want to call him, he's here. And Jake, right as the bell rings, Jake kind of steps to him and tries to get into the face of Ciampa, to not let him get bullied. But Ciampa right away checks him, hits this headbutt, stomps Jake in the corner like Stone Cold Steve Austin, then lifts him up, hits the Willow's bell, and Ciampa, in a return here, gets a victory really early on, just crushing Jake Atlas. And right after the match, he beats down again on Jake Atlas, just with this running boot to the face. And then you think he's done, but he's not. He then attacks Jake Atlas, lifts the ring skirt outside the ring, then slingshots Jake's face like under the ring, like under the apron there. I just yelled at the TV, what a dick. What a dick. He sits on the apron with his smug look that he used to do when he was a bad guy. They bring out a stretcher. They put Jake Atlas on it. And then Ciampa attacks him again while Jake's legs are like just leaning on the stretcher here. He is then Willow's bell, the DDT, onto the outside, like assisted by the stretcher. Ciampa is a sick man. And then they just tend to Jake Atlas, and Ciampa's just standing there like a big old mean badass.
Yeah, I think we all prefer Ciampa as a heel, right? But it just feels like I don't know where the baby faces are in NXT anymore.
Right.
Of like legit challengers. I liked it. I was expecting maybe more of a kind of promo or something from Ciampa this week. I was surprised to see him in a match and just bitch out Jake Atlas, essentially.
Yeah.
The attack looked great. Like, as always with Ciampa's attacks, they're always very violent. Atlas was selling it really well. I don't know. Are we just going in circles with Ciampa?
I don't know. I think he needed this to happen. I think he needed to go back to this character. He's obviously a way better heel than he is a babyface. And I like him as a babyface, but he's fantastic as this monster. And the mask that he came out in, I love this whole look that he's got going on. Yeah, I think this is in the right direction. We need a shakeup now. We lost 2 stars instantly. We lost the 2 guys. And it's like, now we have to fix some things. So moving things around, shuffling things around. What else was there to do? The only guy that crushed him was Kross, and he's gone. So Ciampa could take the reins as the big baddie if he wants to. And he clearly did here, killing Jake Atlas. But great angle. I absolutely love this. I thought this was fantastic. So Ciampa's just mean again. The logos are going to stop popping up.
Yep.
He's just going to be a mean guy. Man, can't wait. Love it. We have a video for Candace Larae. She's talking about her friendship with Tegan Knox, and it's showing clips of their cooking show, and they like to bake.
Them together in the Indies, and
yeah, way back playbacks of all these things, and they're talking about that they were friends, but they just don't understand each other anymore. So Candace and Tegan feud kind of feels like it's coming out of nowhere.
No,
I feel like
they've built this for weeks.
I don't know. I still feel like I'm not super following. This video doesn't really fill me in. Like, there was beef, but I'm kind of a little lost. And I know I've been following, but I feel like I'm a little lost at what's exactly happening. Because I'm like, okay, we know you've been friends, but you haven't. Last week there wasn't anything, and they kind of just keep playing this kind of videos. I'm like, okay, well, what's can we talk about what's going on then?
Oh, I think they've been doing it fine.
I want to see the match.
You had.
I want to see the match.
The thing is, it's like there hasn't been a big breakup between them, and that's what I like. But it's like Tegan Nox has been like, ever since she's like Candice's behavior's changed, I've not heard from her. I want to know what's going on, and she's been ignoring me. And Candice is saying the same about her, and it feels like maybe even though Candice has turned, there is still that kind of little bit of friendship there. Tegan, as the babyface, doesn't want to lose her friend, but is also aware of
Candice
kind of that she's changed and she's being mean and she's not cool with that. I quite like it that it's not just end of a match and Candice turns on Tegan, because we've just seen that with Dakota Kai doing it to Tegan Nox.
Yeah.
So I quite like that they're doing it a different way round with this one.
We'll see. I want to see the match. I'm just like, okay, let's move the story further. Not just videos now. I need to why aren't they in matches and stuff? I like both of their wrestling. We go to Bronton Reed. He's backstage. He's being interviewed about he didn't win, so technically his loss at TakeOver 30. But he says, I've beaten Damian Priest before, so I should be the first one to get an opportunity at the North American Championship. And cue Austin Theory. Yeah, remember him?
Yeah.
So we got another one. We're literally the land.
We won't release them. We'll just send them to NXT, right?
Is that what's
he was already on Raw.
Yeah, he was the disciple.
He left us. We poured a drink out for him before.
Yeah, I mean, he was barely here, but he was here.
Yeah.
And then he left, and then, there's things with him on I'm not quite sure with there's too many things going on in what's to keep up with what's going on, but apparently he's been cleared of some of the allegations. Apparently he's on TV. I don't know. Keeps happening on this show.
Not from what I've seen, but even the fact that it's grey, like I don't want to have grey on my TV.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch something and go, you might have fucking,
I don't know.
Like I'm not cool with this. I don't like seeing Dream on TV. I don't like seeing Theory on TV.
Yeah, it kind of made my eyebrow raise.
Like, why?
Been a few weeks now. It feels like every week now you're just trying to piss people off.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very strange. Of all times, really, how much talent is back there? And of all, again, these are allegations and things, but we don't know. It's such a gray area, but still, wouldn't you? I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. But Austin Theory shows up here. He says that it took a few steps to get to WrestleMania at the age of 22. So here's some words of advice, Bronson. Keep chasing your goals, and maybe when you're about, 55, you'll be a champion. And Bronton Reed does what I guess a lot of people wanted to do, and that's slaps.
It was a good slap.
That was a big,
right across the face from the big
wallop. Ouch. And then it just shows Theory just holding his face and doesn't do anything about it, and that's the segment.
Yeah, so I assume we're seeing that next week as well.
Yeah, weird. Also, I just found the ending where he just gets slapped and that's it. Like, you're not gonna say anything. You're not gonna try to hit him. You're not gonna even walk off. You're just a little bitch.
He is a bitch though, right? Like, he's a bitchy heel.
That's his character.
Like, realistically,
yeah.
If I got slapped by Bronton Reed, I wouldn't like it, but I probably wouldn't try and retaliate because, he's bigger than me.
I don't care who Bronton Reed would be facing next week, but I want Bronton Reed to win. I want Bronton Reed to keep going forward and getting a push here. I think he's great. He killed it in that ladder match, and he was cool here with that slap. I like a good slap.
Oh yeah,
you need a good slap, and I think he knows how to do it. We go to Mia Yim comes out. It's been a while since I've heard that banger, the theme song.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I bet when she moves up, they'll make her change it too.
Probably.
So Mia Yim comes out, and she stands out here, and as she's in the ring, Robert Stone comes out, and he's talking about how he is Suitman Stone, but he is interrupted and cut off right away by Shotzi Blackheart in the tank, once again running Robert Stone over.
third time now.
Third time in a row. Wade Barrett on commentary is like, what kind of operations are you guys running around here, Vic Joseph?
I mean, true. If I turned up to work,
they're like, hey, we need you to fill in on
the
show.
member of staff attacked me with a tank 3 times, I want some retribution. If it were no, like, this guy should sue. He's not
a lawyer though.
He's not a wrestler. Like, you can't
Joseph
go around
Park.
attacking office workers in a tank. I mean, I love Shotzi Blackheart, but come on, poor guy.
Oh, it's so funny.
Just trying to get his people over.
He's getting carried out before it's Shotzi Blackheart versus Mia Yim, and as the match is starting, it cuts to like Stone being carried out. It's so funny.
So this is Shotzi. It was meant to be Mia Yim versus Aaliyah,
but she doesn't
and
want to fight.
Shotzi is like, nope, I'm gonna take the place. So it's babyface versus babyface here.
Yeah,
but they're kind of selling that Mia Yim's a badass for taking the change at very short notice, and that and then yeah, I think we ended up having a pretty good women's match here.
Yeah, I think so. This was a lot of fun. The YouTube rumor is saying that someone pushed the tank, and I'm not lying. I thought for a second it looked like Aaliyah pushed it, but she's.
I think it looked like she was pushing. I think she was just like getting out the way of the tank, and then it was holding it or something.
Yeah, I was a little like, what's going on? But as soon as Shotzi, it was so funny. She just keeps running people over with the tank. It's great. So Shotzi Blackheart versus Mia Yim. Take my money. They start off with back and forth, but Shotzi drops Mia early with the welcome to the ball pit kind of sentoning in between the legs there. It looks like it would hurt. But Mia Yim fights back with a Hurricane Rana, but then goes for a lariat, and Shotzi, who obviously loves her punk rock, does this like guitar slide thing, gets up and hits a Rana of her own on Yim. There's then like a leg roll up from Yim for a 2 count. There's then like a leg drop thing where they both have their legs, and then they kind of drop them and go like, hey, like let's start like a respect kind of thing.
Yep.
Again, babyface. Shotzi goes with her classic howl, ow, 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 and gets a throat chop, which I think a lot of people were like, yeah, shut up. Which I love Shotzi, but it's a great spot.
Yeah.
There's then Mia Yim, who hits a double-legged dragon screw out of the corner. Looks great. I've never really seen someone do that, spinning Shotzi out of the corner there. And then Wade Barrett starts talking about how Mia Yim is an awesome competitor, but she's in here with a real weirdo. And he says, I always hated when I had to take on a real weirdo. Me and Wade Barrett have some differences in our life. There's then Shotzi, who fires back with like a reverse like sling blade. And then now all of a sudden Wade Barrett changes his mind and says Shotzi Blackheart is amazing. He starts like marking out for her. He's like, whoa, this young lady is very unorthodox, but she's hitting like all these crazy moves, the scorpion kick, but then Mia fights back with a dragon suplex for a 2 count, and then there's like a springboard drop kick, which Shotzi like sidesteps, hits a standing senton, climbs to the top rope, and Shotzi Blackheart hits a senton off the top, and Shotzi Blackheart pins Mia Yim. This match was a firecracker.
This was really good. I think it was one of Mia Yim's better matches, definitely. And Shotzi, as always, looks great. She's got such a good energy, so different from the rest of the women on the roster. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, I actually thought this was really fun. Shotzi Blackheart has been on this crazy roll. I see star in Shotzi Blackheart just from like the character, the look. Her wrestling is so awesome. She has some crazy innovative moves. But the same could be said for Mia Yim. We kind of had our ups and downs with her for the past little while.
She's very hit and miss.
Yeah.
She doesn't land it a lot. And I think character-wise, she isn't the most intriguing person there. Like, I know she likes Wu-Tang dogs and gaming.
Wow.
And she's Keith Lee's girlfriend. That's her character to me.
Okay.
Yeah, and
she
I think
likes Wu-Tang and dogs? I don't understand the dog. What does she ever do with dogs?
Oh, I mean, I only know that from Twitter.
Oh, okay.
She's always posting. She's got
the big dog, Mia Yim.
She's got like a pug or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, her character's very bland. And match-wise, she has a lot of misses. I like Mia Yim, but she doesn't always land with her matches. Shotzi Blackheart, I think, is so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Has a really great character, just full of fire. But yeah, these two had a really good match here.
I thought this was a lot of fun. I really liked that tag match though, but this normally probably would have been my match for the night because I thought this was fun. Some great looking stuff. I think the women's division was at one point the strongest thing of NXT. We can get back to that. Look at the cast and characters of all these women we have. They can put on good classic matches, and it shows here. Give them some time and they can totally deliver. I was super impressed with both of these women in this match. I love this. Both of these two should be champion down the line. Like, we have not a lot of other competitors for EO like down the line. Considering what they're doing in the main event later tonight, you're kind of like, I don't really, So it is time to get some fresh faces in the title picture. So I'm down with that. I have hope yet again for the NXT Women's Division. I think because like other than EO, we were just there. We had the Robert Stone thing with Aaliyah, and Mercedes Martinez is now entered into the mix. We'll talk about her later, but I have hope. We're gonna the roster is stacked, and they're giving them some time, and I'm down for it. But I'm also down for William Regal. He's here in Full Sail. He's coming out of his office, and he has made a decision. He's coming to the ring to talk about the NXT Championship. But when we come back from commercial break, psych, it's not William Regal. It's Dakota Kai, who says Rhea Ripley should have minded her own business and not stepped in the ring with us on Saturday. We were not bothered, and we are not bothered by these two. We are a team, and they're not. They're talking about the main event tonight. Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Dakota and Raquel. Dakota says those two don't even get along. Rhea just wants what Io has, and Io knows it. And everyone knows that I still deserve to be champ, and I'll prove that tonight. You messed up getting in my face. So Dakota is not done with Io Shirai. But it's time for William Regal. He does come down to the ring. He's in the ring. And he says, next week, NXT presents Super Tuesday.
Yes.
Because NXT is on Tuesday next week. Again, we're doing our show Wednesday during the day. It will be out. But next week, Tuesday, we will find our next NXT champion. The 4 greatest superstars from NXT, 4 former champions, will compete, and they will claim who is the best. For the first time ever, a fatal 4-way match that is a 60-minute Iron Man match.
I think he's been watching our 2K19 games, because this is a match we do a lot, which is a 4-way Iron Man match.
Yeah.
Which are
hectic.
Crazy.
We do 15-minute matches.
When it's like 2-2 between like 2 of you or 3 of you, and you're scrambling for that final pin, and everyone's breaking it up. Yes. So the competitors are Johnny Gargano, who is the first Triple Crown champion, Finn Balor, who was at one point the longest reigning champion and has the most victories at TakeOver out of anyone, Adam Cole, who is the longest reigning champion, and Tommaso Ciampa, who never lost the title.
Yeah, this is crazy. So next week, Tuesday night, the main event is an hour long, so half the show, 60-minute Iron Man match between the 4 of them. So this sounds epic. Jeez.
I'm looking forward to the match, but I don't know. I love all 4 of these guys, and I feel I think they could have got more juice out of this. I think next week seems very soon.
Yeah.
I get why they're doing it on Tuesday. You could argue, why are you doing it when you're unopposed? But also it's not your regular night, so you need to get people to find your show. The people that are used to just tuning in every Wednesday night, you hype up, it's the title match, it's an hour-long Iron Man match, it's Tuesday. You'll get those viewers in. I just think you could have maybe spread this out over a few weeks, and part of me is like, when he said, we're going to get 4 of the greatest champions, like, I'd have loved to see some people come back down to NXT.
I don't know. I don't want another tournament, to be honest. I know we talked about how tournaments were the right idea, but they happened, and a bunch have happened. It's like, okay, we need something to kind of quickly solve this. So I am kind of understanding what you're saying, because it's like, we're just going to claim this. Because to me, as a business standpoint, you combat against another show usually every Wednesday. Now, of course, it's on Tuesday and stuff, but wouldn't you maybe promote this for like a show in like a Wednesday versus Wednesday thing? in like, I don't know, a few weeks. I know schedules and things for AEW and NXT are kind of changing and all sorts of different things. But wouldn't you want to like go, well, we need to crown a champion anyways. Let's wait so we can bash them on a Wednesday night. But they didn't do that, and it's a Tuesday.
I just think
this match sounds great. I can't wait.
I'm more for tournaments than you are, but I just feel there's an opportunity here to go, hey, why not do next week is Nakamura versus Gargano to qualify for this Iron Man match.
Nakamura hasn't been here forever. Who cares? He doesn't deserve a shot.
He's a former champion. I don't know. I'm thinking if you want to get people... Because, cool, we're going to have a winner. We've seen all these guys as champions recently, apart from Balor. I don't know.
What if it's a tie?
Yeah, that could happen. But I like the idea of the match. I just think it's a bit too soon. And I don't know. I was hoping... You'd either do something to bring a bit more interest into the product, like bringing former champions in, or you use this as an opportunity to put over someone new, put some fresh faces like a Bronton Reed in this position. Because really, we're going to have Gargano, Ciampa, and Cole mix it up again, and the only fresh face there is Finn Balor.
I think Finn's winning it, but I would like the Swerve to be like Gargano kind of winning it. Or you go with Ciampa, who's now a bad guy again. I don't know. I'm fine. Look, these four characters are the biggest things that we have here. It makes sense that one of them are champion. Like it does to me. I'm fine with any of them winning next week. I just think you start fresh and we move forward. But yeah,
I don't think it's fresh though. We're going in circles with these people.
I feel like the Finn Balor thing is not.
I don't know who the other challengers are.
There isn't any.
You got rid of Lee. You've got rid of Kross at the moment.
Yeah.
It's really time to start building up people, and I think having a Bronton Reed or a Cameron Grimes or someone like that in this match or a tournament instead could be used to elevate. I don't know. I think the match is going to be great. I'm looking forward to the match, but I'm not too optimistic about the future, and I'm not too excited about anyone challenging these guys. They've been here too long.
See, the problem is, it shouldn't have been a fatal four-way with former champions. It should be people who aren't champions.
Who've never been a champion.
So, maybe they should have added, I don't know, off the top of my head, Pat McAfee, or, I don't know, Cameron Grimes. And I heard Kona Reeves is back from that injury.
Yep.
NXT champion, the finest NXT champion. That has a ring to it. I'm fine with this, but I think we do need to have, like, if any of these guys win, none of them should be challenging the other.
No, they can't.
But it will be. It will be. So it's going to be one of the mixes.
And that's what my issue is, yeah.
I think it could be Finn Balor and Adam Cole chasing. It could be Finn Balor with Ciampa chasing. It could be Ciampa with Finn Balor chasing. There's a few mixed up there. I think Johnny's just going to be there to make the match lit and probably not win. But a little deep down, I'm going to be cheering for Johnny, even though he's not winning this match. I think this match is going to be crazy. I think they were like, fuck, let's do something wild. Yeah, all right. 60-minute four-way match, Iron Man.
The match sounds great.
Yeah. So let's see where it takes us. But yeah, there's definitely now big slots taken out of NXT with the Kross injury and Lee just gone, instantly taken away wearing a vest on Raw, like the movie he was in. What's the movie? The Main Event where he was singing?
Smooth Operator.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be okay if we need to go away. It sucks. Everything that, like, we just described, that storyline, the arc that we just had, and it's shit. Keith Lee dropping the title, then leaving, and injuries. It's just, let's just scrap out of this and let's go. Move away. Let's start. And these are the four biggest guys. So yeah, they're the money. So that is next Tuesday, NXT Super Tuesday. But we do have a title match right now. Another title match. The Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight Champion, defending against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Now Santos, right away in the beginning, tells his cronies, he tells Wild, he tells Raul, go to the back. I got this.
Go to the back. Come back later.
Yeah,
come back later.
That's pretty much.
Don't wear yourself out right now. We're gonna go for a good 15 minutes before I need you, Raul.
Isn't it like the classic like, all right, when we'll trick them. We'll trick them. You're not going to be out here, but then you will be out here because you're just watching in Gorilla. Classic heel moves. So this starts off with Swerve, who is just super fast and out everything, out wrestling, out speed, out everything, which then he sends Santos flying to the outside, and he has the best of him. He's got his number, and they go to commercial break. But when we come back, Escobar is now in control. He throws Swerve to the ropes, but he handsprings and then hits him with a suplex, and then Swerve locks in this gory special, but like it's kind of modified here, and he's just bending Santos like back. Oh, it just looks awesome. One of the cool wrestling moves. And then like this rolling, flying like arm breaker, trying to get a submission in here, but Santos goes to the outside and throws Isaiah into the like plexiplastic. Is it
see-through plastic?
See-through plastic. Cellophane plastic. No. There's then like there's double knees in the corner back in the ring from Santos. Swerve goes for a Rana in midair. You know, like classic spot where the guy's on the top rope and the other guy springboards, jumps up, and then hits a Hurricane Rana to the guy off the top. Swerve goes for this, but Santos has it scouted and in midair counters a Hurricane Rana into a sit-out powerbomb off the top. Swerve gets his hand up at like 2.9, his shoulder up, I mean. They go to another commercial break. When we come back, Santos with a pop-up knee and then spits in the face of Scott. Obviously, this pisses him off. He attacks him, sends him to the outside, hits a Flosbury flop, a flatliner. Then this is, of course, when we kind of see the bad guys come back, the cronies. Of course, they weren't just not going to show up. They come in. Mendoza's here with the distraction when we have Wild who's there, but then Escobar hits the super kick on Swerve off this distraction, but it's only a 2 count. But this is where the new tag team champions, Breezango, they come out, they chase off Legado del Fantasma.
What good lads. They could be partying in a hot tub with champagne right now. Their first titles ever in WWE, yet they're running out to help out their boy.
What good people.
Good friends.
Isaiah Swerve Scott hits this crazy knee to the face and then a bridging German suplex, but Santos kicks out. There's then the house call kick, but that is only a 2 count. He then gets Santos up in the corner and drops him with the JML driver, but Santos has his hands on the ropes. And it's almost like he knew exactly where he was going to be in the ring at this exact moment, because he kind of goes onto the outside and finds a lucha mask, which Santos then puts on his head, but kind of checks the top of it, like the forehead spot of it, and kind of realizes, like, okay, we're in action. He kind of goes into the ring, headbutts Scott, who then just drops and is laid out. Santos takes off the mask, throws it away, pins Scott, and retains the Cruiserweight Championship. And you were like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme yelling at the TV from like, have you seen the meme of him like, looking at the TV? That was you. You're yelling, it's a loaded mask! It's a loaded mask! And son of a bitch, I think that's what they're doing. This was a really fun match, but I was kind of thrown off with the finish, because it's like, how did you know you were going to be right there with that? But anyway.
Well, that's wrestling.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I really like the the match. I think the mask thing could be quite fun moving forward. I don't know how much sense it makes. Wouldn't it be just easier to hold it in your hand and smack him and then hide it? He also could have thrown it under the ring, but he decides to take it in the ring and hold it in his hand, hiding it.
It's just weird.
But that aside, they're trying to be creative, especially seeing that we know Santos Escobar used to wear the mask. That's how he was introduced into NXT. But it's just, what is the ref meant to just think he's just suddenly decided wanted to wear a mask?
Yeah, it's a little far-fetched.
I thought the match was really good though. These two have great chemistry. I really enjoy the Cruiserweight division since moving to NXT. Another good match on a show of strong matches, I thought.
Yeah, I thought tonight really, from top to bottom, was kind of delivering, especially with this match. I really like Santos Escobar. He's coming into his own, I think. I need to see more of him. And look, hats off to them. They tried, or masks on to them, because they tried with a creative finish. I wasn't super big fan of it, but I could see him trying to maybe go down the line with this, or wrestle with a mask on that is always loaded, and then, I don't know, it gets... I don't know. I kind of wanted to see Scott get the title win, but at the same time, I think Santos needs to have a really big run with it. But fun match. We have the first video from one of the challengers for next week's Iron Man 4-Way, and it's Johnny Gargano. He says, life can change in a moment. I could have been done. I could have been injured. I could have been out of here, but I'm not, and I'm still here. I said I was going to fix NXT and rule NXT. Well, slow and steady, brick by brick, I built my kingdom, and now fate has stepped in. Johnny Gargano has the golden opportunity. 4-way, 60 minutes. I'll prove that I have been running NXT. I like this heel Johnny Gargano here because at the same time, I'm still the fan of Johnny wrestling, but like I know he's going to be the star of the match, but I don't know if he's going to win the match. But damn it, I'm cheering for him.
Yeah, I love Johnny Gargano, but I really want to... It's difficult. I'd love to see him on the main roster having that kind of Daniel Bryan 2013, 2014 run because I think he's got it in him. Like a babyface Johnny Gargano. I think he's a fantastic performer. So any kind of role he's given, he's going to do it well. But I just feel he's ran his course in NXT now with a lot of the guys in this match. And I just don't take him as seriously as a heel anymore.
I think just because he lost doesn't mean he's not a heel. I mean, a week ago you were praising him for his like heel.
No, I'm saying he's a good heel.
Yeah.
But I feel they turned him heel to keep him in NXT and to keep him fresh.
Right.
But I'm just ready for him to leave this company now. I don't know. I'm just getting tired of these guys week in, week out. I love Johnny Gargano, and I think... But the problem is you then move to the main roster and you get Keith Lee, you know? But I think as a babyface, he is money. And I'd love to see him have a serious run on SmackDown or Raw and really rejuvenate that brand. Because NXT, I'm kind of done with these guys.
I think Johnny with this heel character should have gotten, like, part of me wanted him to win that ladder match just because I think it would have elevated. I think he's star, but it's this pandemic era, right? You could be building a stacked takeover card for like this past weekend that would have involved like, you know, different avenues and bigger matches. Like you're kind of shitting on all these options of like Finn versus Cole or Finn versus Ciampa. Realistically, you'd be buying tickets to go see that at Boston Takeover. Like you would be.
Seen him though.
Like I'm
seen
saying,
Ciampa Gargano 3 times.
You're like, not getting that match. You're getting like Finn versus Cole, or you have Finn versus Ciampa. There's a few different avenues, but I'm saying that they're still like the main guys we have. And it's unfortunate now we lost the 2 guys that were just pushed to that spot. We lost the 2 guys that were pushed to the big main event draw, and now it's quickly they are.
I think Riddle as well. Riddle should
we lost Riddle.
Should be in this.
But then Riddle's another character.
Yeah.
Do we send him back to NXT because there's allegations and stuff, which
True.
of course like people say, you know, he's come out and definitely disputed those claims, but it's like. Yeah, we lost a lot of characters this past year, and now it seems like we're going back to the well again. But I'm happy the well's Johnny Gargano. I can tell you that. But I liked this video from Johnny. I think it was one of the better ones from tonight. We do have a Finn Balor video where he says life comes full circle. Fallen prey, well, the prince rises to the occasion. All the pieces are set. The 4 cornerstones of NXT. Well, I'm not a cornerstone. I'm the centerpiece. So it doesn't matter, all you people out there, whether you're in the crowd, at home, or Joey at home trolling on the internet, they all get what they want. Finn Balor as NXT champion. I don't think Joey at home trolling on the internet wants Finn Balor as champion, but I digress. This was fine. I hope he's not the champion. I really don't, but he is going to be the champion.
All 4 of these guys are great talkers, so these promos were great setting up the match, but I think for me Finn is the best option going forward as champ.
Like for me it makes the most sense, but
there's more fresh matches because he hasn't, although he was in NXT for a while, it's a completely different roster from then.
You know, there's someone who's not in that match because they made it former champions, but someone who should have been entered in this match, and we kind of toyed with the idea, and that's they just throw up this match card screen saying, hey, this is coming up next. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
The solo re-debut of Cool Kyle.
Cool Kyle.
Kyle O'Reilly versus Drake Maverick. Do not adjust your sets. Drake Maverick challenged any member of Undisputed Era earlier today on Twitter, and obviously everyone says, oh, it's going to be Roderick Strong. Wrong. Kyle O'Reilly, who looks in great shape with his new haircut.
Yep.
He's looking fresh AF. He's in the fucking zone. Drake tries to slug at him early on here, but he ain't taking none of that shit. Actually, obviously, Drake Maverick was watching TakeOver 30 because Drake takes a page out of Pat McAfee's book with the dive off the top turnbuckle to the outside, the senton onto, I think it was like Roddy and Fish almost, just nailing Fish actually. But back in the ring, Kyle is like, all right, enough of this, and just starts to kick the shit out of Drake. He kicks him in the gut, and Drake Maverick just starts to choke and die. Kyle is wiling on him, and Wade Barrett on commentary says that Undisputed Era is like way better than the Nexus ever was.
Yeah, this is funny because Vic is trying to like bring it in. It's like, oh, and you're used to being in a faction as well, and he's like, look, Undisputed Era are way better than the Nexus were, and he's putting over how like, oh, in the Nexus we'd have all stabbed each other's back, and like he starts sort of kayfabing it a bit, but to start with he's like, no, the Nexus was shit. Like Undisputed Era are the real deal. I also liked on commentary Barrett was talking about Kyle's MMA career, because the match starts with Drake like Drake takes it to him. Yeah. He's giving all these kicks and sharp strikes, and Barrett's like, look, Kyle O'Reilly could be doing professional MMA if he chose. He's that good at it, but his love is wrestling, and that's why he's doing this. So I don't know if I was Drake going this direction with the match. I thought Barrett was fantastic on the call.
Kyle is just in the zone, killing Drake Maverick here. Does this like backwards roll while grabbing the leg of Drake, dropping him into a knee bar. I think it's Roderick Strong on the outside who yells, "How do you like that, dork?" Classic. And Drake Maverick is fighting and screaming, trying to fight out of this knee bar, but Kyle just keeps locking it in even further, and Drake Maverick eventually taps out to this wild knee bar. And as Kyle O'Reilly gets up, Undisputed Era get into the ring, and Kyle and Bobby Fish start to beat up Drake Maverick.
No, Roddy and Bobby Fish.
Sorry, Roddy and Bobby Fish. And Kyle is kind of like, hey, why are you doing that?
I thought this was great because commentary didn't really draw attention to it. And I was going, is Kyle like not joining in here? And it seemed like he was going like, come on, guys. I've already beaten him.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So Roddy goes to grab a chair, and Kyle's like, I don't really know. I don't feel comfortable about this. I'm Canadian, and I don't really like, beating people up after the match. But then Killian Dane runs out. I know, right? What? He comes. He rushes the ring, and he starts attacking Roddy and Fish. And Kyle O'Reilly, yet again, is like, I wasn't beating anyone up. I'm going to take this one out. And just kind of drops out of the ring and starts kind of walking up the ramp a little bit. And then Roddy and Fish like exit the ring after kind of getting beat up a little bit, but escape more doom. And we have Dane, who then helps up Drake, and then he beats him up too.
Yeah, so Drake gets up and he kind of walks towards him and he's like, oh, thank you, mate. Thank you. And then he just kills him. Dane looked way better. I think he's lost some weight.
Yeah.
He's sorted his hair out.
Wow. I don't know about that.
No, he's like trimmed it or something on the sides. Like it looked neater. He looked less scruffy as usual. I thought he looked a lot better here.
There's a lot to take in here. There's a lot to unpack. Kyle teasing some sort of not tension but separation from the Undisputed Era. So I mentioned that we have all these contenders for the NXT title, but someone who we would love to see in some singles competition and eventually headline some NXT shows, and that is Kyle O'Reilly. He is a superstar.
I think this is the way to do it. Not have just a sudden turn, but this was a nice slow start. I like the fact that commentary didn't really bring attention to it because it shows that they're doing kind of building blocks and planting seeds. Also, the fact that Adam Cole wasn't out there either, because you come off of the last takeover and we're kind of thinking Adam Cole's a babyface now, but then you see Bobby and Roddy do the classic UE beatdown. You're like, oh, okay, Undisputed Era heels, but then Kyle doesn't get involved and Cole's not there. It's raising questions, which I like, because I'm always a fan of like long-term booking. I think I've been calling for a few weeks now that if you're not moving Undisputed up, you need to split them because you've got fantastic single stars in there. As I've mentioned multiple times tonight, the main event division needs new faces, and a Kyle or a Roddy in those positions, I think they can do it.
Okay, so what about this? Like some, fantasy booking down the line. Kyle O'Reilly is like still with them, but kind of distanced himself. You know how Kofi Kingston was given his blessing to Big E to be like a star, like a single star, but even though he's still attached to New Day, it's like that. So Adam Cole loses the title match next week, and somehow Kyle O'Reilly fights his way into the ranks and gets an opportunity. And what if Kyle O'Reilly becomes champion, and then you do the while still in Undisputed Era, like there's no breakup, but they fight each other. I think that is money.
I think you can sort of do the evolution thing as well. You can have Kyle kind of beat a Finn Balor or whoever's going to win.
Right.
As you say, winner like a number one contenders 4-way or battle royal or whatever, find his way into the position and win it. And then you can definitely build up tension there with like Roddy and Cole. But I also like that you could just have it as competitive rivalry for a little bit and never actually pull the trigger of splitting them up. But I like that it looks like Kyle's going to be a singles competitor now because we need him. I think there's so many fresh matchups here that we're like missing out on simply because he's been the tag team guy. But yeah, I think a nice slow burn here to quickly turn. That's an oxymoron. A slow burn to make this guy a star in like the next 6 months. He could be main eventing these specials. He could be a major key player that we're kind of missing out here. Jamie in the room is saying it could also be for the Cruiserweight title, seeing that it was essentially a Cruiserweight match. You can have the match against Kushida. You can have the match against Escobar. Those matches sound great. I just see Kyle as more of a main eventer than that. But don't get me wrong. I'd love to see an O'Reilly versus Escobar. I'd love to see O'Reilly Kushida again because we know what they put on in New Japan.
I think there's a great story to tell with the Undisputed Era, whether it be the dissension of them, a breakup or something, but something's got to happen. There's got to be some furthering a story. They're not moving up and they're sticking here. He beat Pat McAfee. Great big deal. Like, what do we do now? So make some story, make some good storytelling with the group. And I think all great teams have like the dissension and breakup and teasing and all sorts of stuff. We've seen it from Undisputed Era before, but this was definitely a step in the right direction. And Drake Maverick just looking like a geek.
Poor Drake.
Beat up. Yeah. Remember when he wanted his job back so bad? I bet you don't want your
job
now.
He's still like a geek then, though. Come on. Poor little Drake.
We have a promo from Rhea Ripley. She says, "It's no surprise I want the women's title. I didn't save Io on Saturday to save Io. I just wanted to send a message to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez because Io Shirai is mine now. And Raquel wants me out of her face. Well, make me." Isn't it Rhea who's done that thing in the ring a few times? And then now she's the one who says, "Make me."
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got much to say.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. Yeah. Adam Cole, he has one of his videos for the match next week. He names off the competitors, including himself. Adam Cole, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, Ciampa, the Mount Rushmore of NXT, which instantly causes so many people on Twitter, I'm sure, to rush to their Twitter. Well, what about Sasha? What about the NXT Mount Rushmore? Is at upNXT podcast. What is your Mount Rushmore of NXT? Adam Cole says, "We're in a 4-way. I've moved on from Pat McAfee. I was a 400-plus day champion. So some would say I was the Iron Man of NXT. So this is my alley. And I will hold it twice. That's undisputed." So he's claiming I'm going to be a 2-time champion. I'm going to hold it for just as long. Maybe he wins it. And then you have Kyle go after him down the line. You know, there's so many things. But he doesn't even say, "Pat McAfee, good job, Pat."
Yeah.
Pat on the back, Pat. Good stuff, Pat. No, he's done with it.
They do that, though. It's like when Undertaker will come in for a. I'm comparing Pat McAfee to the Undertaker right now.
I would.
But
have you seen the Undertaker wrestle? You have, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. Have you seen Pat McAfee wrestle?
What, recently? Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, I
Just saying.
I know. But what I'm saying is, Undertaker will build up for a one night at WrestleMania, and then won't show up on Raw. Nothing's really said, and then a few weeks later they might bring up to the person he beat him. But that's what it is with Pat. Pat showed up, had his promo.
Wow.
He's not going to wrestle anytime soon. The option's down the line, but we're moving on. We're not even mentioning his name anymore.
He should interfere in the match next week.
Love it.
At the very end to cost Adam Cole.
Well, no, I mean, what if we set up for a match against like Gargano or Ciampa?
Well, no, we need a story. I don't know if you just
Fuck it.
Right?
Pat McAfee just he can call Gargano a midget as well.
Oh my God, you can't say that word. First of all,
But no, I'm quoting him. You said Jew earlier. I don't think you can say that anymore either.
You can't say a lot of things.
Yeah.
With this. I don't know. I'm kind of like the Pat McAfee thing happened, and then they just like forget it. It's like, hey, like what about this guy? Make him interview people. Make him fight Drake Maverick. Let Killian Dane beat him up. I don't know. Maybe less is more. He's like the Undertaker.
He's an attraction.
Yeah. He only shows up at the big shows. The Pat McAfee, future NXT World Champ. And you know, Pat did a good job.
He did.
Let's go to our main event. Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. So Io Shirai beat Dakota at TakeOver and was beat down after, but Rhea makes the save, and now the tag match is happening. Raquel and Io are in the ring early on, and there's a Hurricane Rana sending Raquel flying. Then Io kicks the ropes, and there's like a spot where Dakota is kind of scared of Io and hanging by the ropes, and then Io kicks the ropes, which then Dakota like falls off the apron, but Raquel catches her, and it's still showing that glimpse of Dakota Kai is still playing this character. Like she is scared of Io Shirai, and it shows. They go to commercial, but when they come back, Io Shirai hits a standing stomp on Dakota, but tags in Rhea, who then hits like the cravat and the series of knees. But then the baddies double team Rhea on the outside. They dump her head on there, bang her around. Kai is now working on Rhea Ripley, like the shoulder, and starts to just kick her. However, Io gets the hot tag. She's in here. She catches Kai's foot, sending it into Gonzalez, and then hits the bullet train and the 619 all in a row. She's just on fire. And then the springboard drop kick. No one does it like Io Shirai. And then we saw her do the Kamigoye and the Golden Triangle, and she kind of does it here again, where she just like, pow, crazy knee lift by her, just insane. And then the deadlift German suplex and a bridge on Dakota Kai, but Raquel breaks it at 2.9. She's pissed, so she hits the Shote, and then Raquel gets up and somehow power slams Io here. And then when Rhea, who is waiting for Io to make this tag, Mercedes, out of nowhere, attacks Rhea Ripley, throwing her head into the steel steps. Therefore, when the tag is finally made, Rhea kind of isn't ready for competition. She's not. Her face got slammed against the steps, but she tags in anyway, trips to get into the ring. Raquel takes advantage with this crazy boot. Props to Rhea with this sell of this big boot. She sells it like she just is totally out of it. Raquel then gets Rhea Ripley up in the huge Texas Tornado Bomb, and Raquel Gonzalez pins Rhea Ripley. Dakota and Raquel win the match, and they stand tall, and they escape at the entrance ramp, kind of staring off, laughing, being like, yo, we got your number. And NXT goes off the air.
Weird choice for the main event, I thought. I thought the show really kind of petered out. Look, I enjoyed Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. I think part of it is I'm not really invested in Rhea Ripley. I think she'd have a good match against Mercedes Martinez, but what's the direction here? Is it Mercedes Martinez or is it Raquel Gonzalez? I'm just not really interested. I feel the Io Dakota feud is done now. It's just a bit of treading water, and I'm kind of just with this closing, I was expecting maybe Ripley turns on Io to be the next challenger.
Yeah.
And I think maybe down the line that'll happen. Look, the match was fine, but I didn't think this should have been the main event of the night.
It's tough because what else would you have done? The whole show felt like it was on fire until the main event.
I mean, as I said earlier, you could have, like, really, I think in a show's build, you could have had the Breezango title win.
Yeah.
Be a good, if you built it up throughout the night and talk about all of Breezango's losses over the years and stuff, I think you could have built them up for a night to have a nice go-home positive feeling with Breezango holding the titles. Maybe it's not the biggest main event in the world, but it was a better match than this, and I was more excited coming out of that match than I was with this one.
Yeah, look, this wasn't a bad match. It just kind of doesn't really move things along. It's kind of like, okay, so does Dakota get another shot? Because Io didn't lose here. It was Ripley. So it's like, Io shouldn't be fucking around with any of these people. Io should be like, yo, I don't need to mess around. I've beaten you all. Like, maybe not Ripley, but she's beat her in that match, like the triple threat, right? So it's like, ladies, girls, get out of here. I don't need you anymore, is what Io Shirai should be saying to them. So I just find it very dull, considering the whole episode was pretty fire up until that. I was like, this is the least interesting story because we saw Io overcome all the odds and win. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, and Io was the afterthought here. It was Ripley was kind of the main story here, right?
Ripley lost. Oh, but Io's kind of just like, well, shit. Like, I didn't lose. I was on fire. Did you see what I was doing? I was hitting 619s, bullet trains, deadlifts, kamigoyes. It wasn't my fault. I didn't get pinned. So, like, really, she should just wash her hands with this and go, okay, who do I have next?
Who's next?
Yeah, but it's not going to be like that, I guess.
Granted, this was a hangover edition. So technically, so we often get that. We often get just the scraps from after a takeover, and okay, let's do a rematch before we move on. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty strong show. I really enjoyed the wrestling tonight. And there was a lot of news coming out of it, obviously with Kross vacating the title. I love that subtle Kyle face turn, maybe. But yeah, this was just there at the end of the show for me.
It really started off strong with Kross. The unfortunate angle of him having to drop the title, but I thought he delivered a fantastic promo and was super real and mixed the character in with it as well. And I think he'll be back and be a big force. I believe in it. Just from the promo, I was like, man, you delivered. I have faith. But my highlight was definitely the tag title match with Breezango. I can't believe Breezango was the highlight of an NXT for me. But right? It really was. I thought the match was fire.
Shotzi Mia was really good. The Cruiserweight match was really good as well.
I'm seeing a tweet from Breezango, it's from Tyler Breeze, who says, it's been 3,023 days since I wrestled my first NXT match as Mike Dalton, 882 matches since then, and 1,569 days of being a tag team with Fandango. We did it.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah,
you see,
for a while.
You build that story throughout the night. Don't you think it would have been like a real emotional end to the night?
Yeah. Yeah, really. It really was.
Like, that they could do highlights from our What's Next of us talking about Mike Dalton.
Mike Dalton has been a big star on
Audrey
on
Marie should run out at the end to celebrate. They're still together,
a whole
right?
thing. I think so, yeah. Yeah, we've been watching a lot of Mike Dalton on the old NXT episodes we've been reviewing. And, yeah, the story would have totally just... The match was going to happen anyways. You could have put it at the end of the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought. But it was a fun episode. I actually thought it was a pretty decent episode. There's obviously criticism with going to the main four, I guess you could say pillars now of NXT. The Mount Rushmore, if you will. But I think that match next week is a kick in the butt of like, hey, you want some wrestling? Well, here's an hour of it, and you're getting it next week. So
yeah, I get that. My main criticism isn't necessarily about that match, because I think that match will be great. It's just looking forward that I don't see challengers ready yet. I see a really strong North American division, and I like that they have that, like the IC title used to be, that kind of stepping stone. But I don't see any of them ready to break out and be main eventers yet, which shows me that NXT's a bit stale in the main event scene.
It's tough, because remember NXT was, hey, you're hot on the indies, we sign you, you have some killer matches, and then you get pushed to the main event. That's just how it happens here. And, well, the indies aren't a thing right now. And NXT's WWE's bought everyone up to this, and if they haven't, then AEW has. There's just no real shock value anymore. No bringing in other stars to be that spot. But we have so many stars. The problem is they can't make stars because they start and Mickey Mouse booking and all sorts of different stuff. But NXT has the stars. They just need to make them. Like Cameron Grimes, he's a star, but they got to work on him. You got to make him a star.
Yeah.
But there's so many guys that are, and women, like in the women's division as well, right? You see it, and I felt like tonight they were trying to move in that direction. It felt like that. You had Shotzi win. I'm so excited. Fuck yeah for Shotzi Blackheart for winning a match here over Mia Yim, who's like a prominent character here. So it feels like slowly. I think I'm just happy that I got to see Kyle in a singles match, and then some sort of tease that he could potentially be like the guy.
Star,
yeah. So I'm gonna say thumbs up for this episode. I kind of liked it. The main event was a bit of a drag, but the rest of the show really delivered for me.
All right, let's go to some feedback. We post feedback every Wednesday night for NXT, or Tuesday next week, at forum.postwrestling.com, and we start with Derek Lama, who says, "Cool Kyle face turn. I see many banger matches coming out and even more tears. Sad to see the start, but I hope this means Kyle will get a good big push. Also, Balor in 45 minutes with 5 pinfalls for the win next week."
5 pinfalls from Finn
5
Balor.
Pinfalls from Finn.
Wow. Okay. Put money on it. You heard it here first. Andrew from Cape Breton. Wait a second. Is this the Andrew?
Was he frying some chicken while
in
making
the tailgate?
this? Yeah.
He got fucking pissed drunk in the tailgate and then started frying up some chicken, and it became the send off of the tailgate where he was just in his kitchen cooking chicken. Andrew from Cape Breton says, "So the other day Triple H woke up and he thought to himself, you know what? I'm not getting enough heat from the Velveteen Dream problems. Better bring in another guy who was accused of inappropriate behavior with children with the return of Austin Theory. Triple H or whoever is controlling NXT isn't a clown. He's a whole circus. Despite that, NXT was pretty good tonight. I like the tag title match, and Breezango finally getting some titles in the WWE besides FCW, where they teamed with Tyler Rex and Roman Reigns, respectively. I liked that there seemed to be some logic in picking NXT title contenders, unlike the NXT North American title, where some recent loser can maybe get a shot."
In Timothy Thatcher, I think he means there, yeah.
The highlight, as usual, was the women. NXT has the best women's division outside of Japan and has a real main event players. 7 out of 10 show tonight.
Okay, we go to Mike Hogan, who says that he thought Kross winning the title would give NXT the shake-up it needs, but then he obviously had to vacate it. "I'm sure next week's main event will be fine, but there's nothing new in there. It'll be overproduced by HBK, a false finish frenzy between 4 guys all treading water. No matter who wins, I'm not interested in their challengers. Who are the male faces in NXT? I'm sure they regret letting Keith go. Not Ciampa anymore, because he's turned heel. Undisputed Era are heels. Priest, Balor are tweeners. Gargano, Thatcher, Legado, Dream, all heels. If he wasn't injured, our main babyface would be Dexter Loomis. Would have loved to seen someone like KO, Cesaro, or Nakamura come down, but not to be." Also says the same about the women, that he doesn't feel there are any natural baby faces moving forward, and asks who we think will be the next big heroes in NXT.
Big heroes?
I would say Shotzi for the women.
Yes, definitely.
But that's a project. I don't you need to build up the next big heel champion for a Shotzi to
He's
chase.
saying big. He means heroes as in like the big main event players.
Who are going to be the next ones? Who are going to be your next, like, Sami Zayn on the chase? Your Johnny Gargano's on the chase?
It's going to be tough. I'd vote Kyle O'Reilly, but...
I'd say Kyle, maybe. Yeah. I can't really see anyone else in the men's division. So, yeah, I'd say maybe Kyle and Shotzi.
We go to Wrestling Graham. He says, "My idea to crown the next NXT champion. The first annual NXT 1 Climax. We can dream, can't we? But I hope they do a sports-based tourney idea since their track record is pretty damn good. Edit, the 4-way idea is cool too, and it's going to be Ciampa since they already had plans for Kross as a heel champ." And yeah, I guess that's true. Like, that's what you put it on heel Ciampa, who's kind of just been missing lately. I don't know if that's right, but they wanted a heel as the leader, so put a heel as the leader, and then someone can chase. But I think there's still the Finn match against him that could be fresh. And Wrestling Graham ends with, "Black Lives Matter today and always. Wear a mask. Cover your nose too. Be good, y'all." Thank you, Wrestling Graham.
We go to Crooked Letter 9. I think this might be. He hasn't said, but it sounds like a first time, long time.
Is that a first time, long time?
Let's just say it. We haven't said it for a while. Possible.
First time, long time.
Karrion Kross having to surrender the NXT title several days removed from TakeOver 30 does bite in a lot of ways. The parallels to Finn Balor's Universal title win are striking. One has to wonder if Keith Lee's move to Raw was the right call in retrospect. The Fallout episode kept everything moving with a purpose. It was so cool to see Breezango become tag champions. Tommaso Ciampa got his edge back, and Swerve Escobar was a damn good Cruiserweight title match. It was also nice to see Kyle O'Reilly in a singles match, and next Tuesday is shaping up to be an insane night with a huge four-way dance under Iron Man rules between Gargano, Ciampa, Cole and Balor, and it could be a lemons to lemonade answer to Kross's injury. Io Shirai main eventing again is a big W in my book, 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, look, I always like when Io Shirai main events. I just felt like the tag match would have made a little bit more sense. We go to Mystery. Hiya. NXT was pretty great tonight. Kross having to vacate the title sucks, but it is what it is. The 60-minute Iron Man match will be great. Is Mia Yim turning heel? Sure seemed like it. She isn't going to be part of Retribution. Rhea has looked pretty weak over the past few weeks. She has been getting called up pretty soon. Also, keep her away from a microphone. Her promo tonight was really, really bad, and the closing zinger felt like someone would say in kindergarten. Yeah, okay, I'm not alone there. Raquel Gonzalez is probably getting the next title shot since she pinned Rhea, but I can't see her winning it either, nor should she. She's kind of green still, and I'm not really interested in Haas women running over the division. Her and Dakota are desperately needed in the women's tag division more than anything else. And question of the week, how do you guys feel about Shayna and Nia getting a women's tag title match at Payback? The thought of them potentially being tag champions fills me with horror and not the good kind. I'd rather R-Truth and Shayna Baszler be tag champions.
Yeah, I'm not overly excited for that match.
Didn't know that was happening, to be honest.
Yeah. I would say I'm not against Gonzalez having a title match next. It will be on TV, right? And you need heels for Io. I would say maybe to kind of, as you have this Dakota story going, maybe have Io beat Raquel and then you can move on and maybe build to Io Mercedes Martinez for November for War Games.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
We go to Paul from New Jersey. Talk about your all-time backfires. Your former NXT champion on Raw in a skirt as your new champ has to relinquish the gold. Have no fear, there is a place for the NXT title and it's straight to the moon. Perhaps in time. Happy for Breezango, even if the title switch was because NXT UK is starting up again soon. Candace had a terrific promo package, and I'm glad Wade Barrett voiced my opinion about old Bullpit Blackheart. Glad Barrett is coming back for next week. It made sense for Io to beat Dakota, but I hope Dakota doesn't get lost in the shuffle. She's been nothing short of brilliant. This week's Kona fact. Kona was very excited for the return of Roman Reigns, calling him Big Oos. Glad to see Kona putting over guys smaller than him. Hashtag team player. P.S. Good for the Milwaukee Bucks and other teams refusing to play today. Although it might be a small gesture, it's something. Fuck those cops. I'm disgusted with this country.
Damn. Yeah, getting real here. We go to Pick Japan. I'm going to read the next two because this one's really short. Ahoy. Austin Theory. Really? Anyways, Io rules. Ahoy. And finally, Charbel. The chosen one. I could only wish to look as lit as Robert Stone. Please push Drake. I think I'm going to watch some of his old stuff in the UK, and for me to watch something else than WWE is pretty rare. Davie, a special match I should see first of him, or Brady, something of impact I should look for? Well, nothing in Impact. No, I'm joking. Him versus EC3 in Impact was good. Some of his matches...
I'm not too familiar with too many UK matches.
Just watch him crying.
Kind of passed me by.
Just watch him in the video of him crying.
But yeah, I believe the EC3 feud was like his biggest, right?
Charbel says, I had the same smile as Ciampa after that DDT off the stretcher because he and I knew how much Atlas sold like a prom. Like a prom?
I don't know. Get back to us with that one, Charbel.
Sold like a prom. Okay. Never heard that one.
Nope.
Damn. And if it's something offensive, didn't mean it.
Yeah.
He continues, Priest looks like one badass motherfucker with too many White Claws in. I think his character must be an homage or inspiration to the Brady pre-COVID era. Okay, yeah, because I think I'm a vampire. Next week, 1 hour Iron Man match. It's going to be insane, and I hope it will be the best match NXT TV has ever put on. And he ends with, man, I think Shotzi has more balls than me. Give her the strap. Let her rock and roll all night. Insert howling here. Wow, you got him. You got him to do it, Charbel. And that is all the feedback. Wow. Yeah, we didn't mention just final notes. I thought Wade Barrett, who is returning for commentary next week, did a really good job.
He was great. He was fantastic.
I was like, oh man, I miss Morrow, but I thought he fit in properly. He mentioned all night that he has been watching the product, and he clearly has because he knows people's names, he knows the stories, he knows what's been going on. I thought it was a perfect fit. Weird that
he slotted in perfectly.
It was almost like seamless. Yep. Yeah, it was really good, I have to say. But that was NXT. That's what we thought. That's what you thought from NXT, August 26, 2020. Wow. We have so many more shows. Like we mentioned off the top, tomorrow night, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 1997, I don't know, not rom-com. Horror, I don't know, teen horror slasher from the 90s with Buffy the Vampire Slayer in it. That's what's going on for free on this feed tomorrow. On our Patreon, patreon.com/upnext. We mentioned all the shows off the top. The SummerSlam game, best match ever, SummerSlam main events, SummerSlam 2005 review, all the What's Next, all the best matches ever. What else did we got going on?
We've got What's Next coming out this Friday. We have, on Sunday, 2 things coming out. We'll have our watch-along for Payback, 7 p.m, youtube.com/upnext. And we'll have best match ever, TNA X Division with JP Houlihan from the Grapple Spotlight. You can listen to them all if you're a North American or world champion on our Patreon. And check out our Twitter at UpNext Podcast. We'll be posting the schedule for September. Lots of exciting things coming up next month.
Yes, all the shows, all the stuff. If you look, we have a huge back catalog on our Patreon with all the reviews. We got so much. We're still getting praise in the YouTube chat right now for Freddie Got Fingered review with Wei Ting. That's all on there. The $5 gets you every show we've ever put out there. So go check that out. And thank you to everyone who's listening and supporting here. We couldn't do this show without you. So we would like to end the show with some quick thank yous to some of our patrons, old and new. And I'm going to start with RV.
Thank you, RV. Rob Van.
Yep. No damn.
Rob Van, no damn.
It's Rob Van. Hey, thank you to Charles Provost. And thank you to Paul Stewart. Thank you to Tom O'Brien. And thank you to Caesar de la O. I figured you'd be howling through each one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much to Jamie Coe, who I believe joined our YouTube room for the first time tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you to RPG Luminary. Thank you to Liam Simpson. I wonder if he's a relative of mine.
Nice.
My mum's side of the family is Simpson.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm half Simpson. Thank you to Jason Keane. Thank you to Daryl Pitts Jr. Hey, I want to get Daryl Pitts Sr. to subscribe as well. Let's get all the Daryl Pitts.
We tried to get someone's dad on the show the other day, didn't we? We were like, go get him.
Be Detroit, yeah. And thank you to Lee Berry. Thank you very much for signing up for our Patreon, allowing us to keep this show for free every week.
Yeah, look, we mentioned the tailgate off the top that we did. It was so much fun and so interesting, and it's so cool to see anyone interact with this show, whether it's Up Next or all the shows that we do on the Patreon. But we love and appreciate all you guys listening and supporting us here. We already mentioned where you can find us. Again, join the Facebook group and vote on all the shows that we have coming up. And don't forget the watch along for Payback that you're going to be doing this Sunday as well. YouTube.com/upnext. And Super Tuesday, we'll be doing Up Next Wednesday during the day. So this very show, the 1 hour Iron Man match, we'll be chatting all about that next Wednesday during the day. So look for that wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe, like, write us a nice little review. And we appreciate you coming by. So thank you so much for listening. Take care. Goodbye. And man, it's just been a day. My toe hurts. The world is...
Ahoy! Jesus, come on. Oh, it is hot in here. Glad to see our landlords put on the AC. Whew. Whew. How are we doing, YouTube room? It is a hot, sweaty night in the BDE. All right.
How is the YouTube room doing here?
They're good. Eric gave us the signal.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. We're going to say goodnight to you all now. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see as many of you as possible this Sunday.
Payback.
And yeah,
these things as it comes. You know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything. BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.